The information in this video comes from thorough research. Please share your thoughts on the video, the flat Earth theory, in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. If nobody told you what the Earth looked like, what would you think? You'd think it's flat because it looks flat. Mark Sargent. The flat Earth theory. The flat Earth theory, once a common belief in ancient civilizations, has seen a surprising resurgence in the modern era. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence supporting the idea that the Earth is an oblate spheroid, there remains a small but vocal group of people who adhere to the belief that the Earth is flat. This theory is often linked to a broader set of conspiracy theories that challenge mainstream science, and has found new life in the age of social media. Historically, the notion of a flat Earth was widely accepted in many ancient cultures. Early Greek philosophers, however, began to present evidence suggesting that the Earth was a sphere. The development of astronomy and the observations made by early scientists further solidified this view. Over time, the spherical model of the Earth became universally accepted. However, in the past few decades, the flat Earth theory has made a notable comeback. With the advent of the internet and social media, the theory has gained traction among a small but dedicated group of individuals. The modern flat Earth movement is fueled by a deep distrust of authorities, including scientists and governments, as well as a desire to challenge the prevailing narrative of scientific understanding. Historical context. Ancient beliefs in a flat Earth. The belief in a flat Earth was common among many early civilizations. Ancient cultures lacked the scientific knowledge and tools that we have today, so their understanding of the world was based largely on observation, myths, and religious beliefs. In the ancient world, the Earth was often depicted as a flat disk or square floating on water, supported by some kind of divine being or natural force. For example, in ancient Mesopotamia, the Babylonian civilization envisioned the Earth as a flat disk surrounded by a vast, chaotic ocean. This view of the world was not unique to Babylon. Similar ideas appeared in other early civilizations, including Egypt and India, where cosmological myths described the Earth as a flat, stable entity. The early Greeks also believed in a flat Earth, but their philosophers and astronomers began to explore the possibility of a spherical Earth. This shift in thinking laid the foundation for the scientific revolution that would come centuries later. Contributions from early civilizations. As early as the 6th century BCE, the ancient Greeks began to challenge the idea of a flat Earth. One of the first proponents of a spherical Earth was the philosopher Pythagoras, who suggested that the Earth was spherical based on the observation of the moon's shape and its movement across the sky. Later, Pythagoras' pupil Parmenides also argued for a spherical Earth, although his reasoning was less based on empirical evidence and more philosophical. One of the most significant early contributors to the spherical Earth theory was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and astronomer. In the 3rd century BCE, Eratosthenes measured the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. He did this by comparing the angle of the sun's rays in two locations in Egypt, Alexandria, and Syene, and used simple geometry to calculate the Earth's circumference. His measurements were only slightly off from the true value, demonstrating the early Greeks' growing understanding of the Earth's shape. The Greek philosopher Aristotle also provided evidence for a spherical Earth, citing observations such as the shape of the Earth's shadow during a lunar eclipse, which was always round. He argued that the Earth must be spherical to cast a consistent circular shadow. As the Romans adopted Greek scientific thought, the spherical Earth model became widely accepted in the Western world. The idea of a flat Earth gradually faded as more observations and calculations reinforced the spherical model. The transition to a spherical Earth model. By the time of Ptolemy in the 2nd century CE, the spherical model of the Earth was the dominant belief in the Mediterranean world. His work, Geographia, was highly influential for centuries and reinforced the notion of a spherical Earth. Throughout the Middle Ages, most educated Europeans accepted the spherical Earth model. In fact, the belief in a flat Earth had largely been replaced by the spherical Earth model in the Western world long before the scientific revolution. The idea that medieval people believed in a flat Earth has often been exaggerated, and in reality, The Church and most scholars of the time recognized the Earth's spherical shape. By the time of the Renaissance, Nicholas Copernicus, Galileo Galilei, and other scientists began to offer evidence that not only confirmed the Earth's shape, but also revolutionized our understanding of the universe. Copernicus proposed that the Earth was not the center of the universe, but instead revolved around the Sun, challenging centuries of geocentric thinking. The scientific evidence for a spherical Earth. Early observations and experiments. As we move into the scientific era, there are numerous observations that can demonstrate the Earth's spherical shape. The most notable of these was Eratosthenes' experiment, as described earlier, which laid the groundwork for our understanding of the Earth's size and shape. His experiment showed that, by measuring the angle of the sun's rays at different locations, he could calculate the Earth's circumference. This was the first clear scientific evidence that the Earth was not flat, but spherical. In addition to this, observations of the stars also supported the idea of a spherical Earth. As sailors traveled further from the equator, they noticed that the constellations in the night sky shifted. The farther south they traveled, the more southern constellations became visible. This phenomenon is only possible if the Earth is spherical, as the curved surface would allow different regions of the sky to be visible from different points on Earth. The development of astronomy. With the rise of astronomy during the Renaissance, more direct evidence was gathered to support the spherical Earth model. The invention of telescopes allowed astronomers like Galileo Galilei to make observations of the moons of Jupiter and the phases of Venus, which provided further evidence that the Earth was not the center of the universe. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence came with Isaac Newton's theory of gravity. Newton proposed that gravity pulled objects toward the center of mass, which caused the Earth to form into a nearly perfect sphere. The force of gravity was further demonstrated by the way objects fell to the ground, all of which moved in straight lines toward the Earth's center. Modern space exploration and photography from space. In the 20th century, space exploration provided indisputable proof that the Earth is spherical. Photographs taken from space by astronauts and satellites clearly show the Earth as a blue, spherical planet. The Apollo moon missions provided some of the most iconic images, such as the Earthrise photograph, which showed the Earth as a glowing orb rising above the lunar horizon. The advent of satellite technology has also enabled precise measurements of the Earth's curvature. GPS systems and global satellite networks rely on the understanding of the Earth as a sphere to provide accurate navigation data. Flat Earth movement in the modern era. The rise of modern flat Earth groups. Although the flat Earth theory was largely abandoned after the rise of scientific evidence supporting a spherical Earth, it has seen a resurgence in recent decades. The modern flat Earth movement can be traced back to the late 19th century, with figures like Samuel Rowbotham, who published Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe, in 1865. Rowbotham's work presented arguments for a flat Earth based on his interpretation of astronomical and physical phenomena. The modern resurgence of flat Earth beliefs, however, can largely be attributed to the internet and social media platforms. Online communities and websites dedicated to promoting the flat Earth theory have flourished in recent years, leading to the formation of a global flat Earth community. Key figures in the flat Earth community. One of the most prominent figures in the modern flat Earth movement is Mark Sargent, an American conspiracy theorist who has published numerous videos on YouTube about the flat Earth theory. Sargent's videos and interviews have been instrumental in bringing flat Earth beliefs to a wider audience. Another influential figure is Eric Dubay, who has written books and created videos promoting the idea that the Earth is flat. Dubay's work is often cited by modern flat earthers as evidence to support their beliefs. The role of social media. Social media has played a crucial role in the spread of flat Earth theories. Platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter have allowed flat Earth proponents to share videos, articles, and discussions that challenge the scientific consensus on the Earth's shape. These platforms also provide a space for individuals to find like-minded people who share their beliefs, reinforcing the community aspect of the movement. In recent years, the flat Earth theory has become part of a larger trend of conspiracy theories that challenge mainstream science, such as anti-vaccination beliefs, climate change denial, and other pseudosciences. Common claims by flat earthers. The idea that the Earth is a flat disk. One of the primary claims of the modern flat Earth theory is that the Earth is a flat disk, often depicted as a circular plane. According to this view, the Earth's surface is level and flat, with edges that are supposedly surrounded by an impenetrable ice wall. The North Pole is said to be at the center of the disk, with all of the Earth's continents arranged around it, while the South Pole is considered an outer rim, or ice wall, preventing people from falling off the edge of the Earth. This claim argues that the Earth's flatness is apparent in how the horizon always appears level to the naked eye, regardless of one's altitude. Flat earthers suggest that this observation, combined with a lack of visible curvature, proves the Earth is flat. They also claim that the curve of the Earth that is observed in photographs from space is fabricated by space agencies. The dome or firmament theory. Another common claim among flat earthers is the idea of a dome or firmament surrounding the Earth. According to this theory, the sky is not an infinite expanse, but is instead contained by a solid dome that shields the Earth from the cosmos. This theory is often tied to religious or biblical interpretations, suggesting that the Earth is the center of creation and the firmament is a barrier that separates the Earth from the heavens. Some variations of this belief claim that the stars and the sun are small and contained within the dome. The sun and moon are said to orbit above the flat Earth, explaining the phenomena of day and night, as well as the cycle of the seasons. Misinterpretations of physics and astronomy. Flat earthers often argue that the laws of physics as understood by mainstream science are incorrect or misinterpreted. One key point of contention is gravity, which they reject as an explanation for why objects fall toward the Earth's surface. Instead, they propose that objects fall due to density and buoyancy, with heavier objects simply sinking and lighter objects rising. They also claim that gravity doesn't exist because, in their model, there is no spherical mass for gravity to act upon. Another claim often made by flat earthers is that celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon, do not orbit in the manner described by modern astronomy. Instead, they claim that the sun is much smaller and closer to the Earth than is scientifically accepted, and that it moves in a circular path above the Earth, providing light during the day. Flat earthers often dismiss the phenomenon of the Earth's curvature during sunset and sunrise. Instead of explaining the phenomenon as a result of the Earth's curvature, they argue that the sun and moon are merely moving in and out of view due to their proximity and position above the Earth. Denial of space travel and satellite technology. A central belief of many flat earthers is the rejection of space travel and satellite technology. They argue that space agencies, particularly NASA, are engaged in an elaborate hoax to conceal the truth about the Earth's shape. Flat earthers claim that the images of Earth from space are computer-generated or staged in a studio, and that there is no genuine evidence of human space exploration. They often point to discrepancies in images from space, such as the perceived distortion of the Earth's curvature or inconsistencies in the appearance of clouds, as evidence of photomanipulation. They also claim that no one has ever truly been to the moon or launched a spacecraft into space, and that all space missions are part of a grand conspiracy to deceive the public. Scientific refutation of the flat Earth theory. The curvature of the Earth. One of the simplest and most straightforward ways to prove that the Earth is not flat is through the observation of its curvature. As one travels long distances, especially by sea or air, the curvature of the Earth becomes increasingly apparent. Ships that sail away from the shore gradually disappear from view, starting with their hulls and followed by their masts, which is impossible on a flat Earth. This effect is caused by the curvature of the Earth and is observable in many coastal areas, particularly from elevated points. The famous experiment known as the ship's hull disappearing demonstrates this phenomenon. As a ship sails further away from the observer on the shore, its hull is obscured by the curvature of the Earth, and the mast appears last. This is consistent with the spherical Earth model. Additionally, the fact that travelers on a plane can fly from one point to another and end up back at the same location, e.g., circumnavigating the globe, further disproves the idea of a flat Earth. If the Earth were flat, such flights would not follow predictable paths or return to their starting points. Gravity and its effects on the Earth. Flat earthers often reject the theory of gravity, but this scientific principle has been confirmed through numerous experiments and observations. Gravity is responsible for pulling objects toward the Earth's center, and this force ensures that the Earth remains a roughly spherical shape. If the Earth were flat, the force of gravity would behave differently, and objects would be drawn toward the center of the disk, rather than toward a singular point beneath the Earth's surface. One of the clearest demonstrations of gravity is the way objects fall to the ground. Gravity ensures that all objects, regardless of their weight, fall at the same rate, ignoring air resistance. This principle has been consistently verified, even in experiments conducted by Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton. If the Earth were flat, gravity would act differently, and the experience of weight and motion on the Earth's surface would be drastically different than what we observe. For instance, people on a flat Earth model would experience a stronger pull of gravity at the edges of the Earth, which is not the case. The evidence from the horizon and celestial observations. The Earth's curvature can be observed through the movement of the sun and the stars. As one moves across the Earth's surface, the position of the stars in the sky shifts. This is only possible if the Earth is spherical, as the curvature of the Earth allows different people at different locations to see different parts of the sky. The pattern of the stars and constellations changes as one travels north or south, providing clear evidence that the Earth is curved. The movement of the stars and the fact that they are seen at different angles depending on one's location on Earth further discredits the idea of a flat Earth. Another piece of evidence that disproves the flat Earth theory is the phenomenon of lunar eclipses. During a lunar eclipse, the Earth casts a round shadow on the moon, and the shadow is always circular. This consistent round shadow is only possible if the Earth is spherical, as a flat object would not cast a uniform, round shadow. The role of air travel and GPS technology. Modern aviation and global positioning systems, GPS, rely on the Earth's spherical shape for accurate navigation. Pilots use the curvature of the Earth to determine flight paths, and GPS satellites are placed in orbit around the Earth to provide precise location data. These technologies would not function on a flat Earth, as they depend on a spherical model of the planet. Additionally, air travel itself would be impossible on a flat Earth. Long-distance flights are calculated based on the understanding that the Earth is spherical, and they follow routes that account for the Earth's curvature. If the Earth were flat, flight patterns would be drastically different, and many long-haul routes would be impossible. Psychological and sociocultural aspects of belief in flat Earth. Psychological reasons for believing in a flat Earth. Belief in the flat Earth theory can often be linked to a broader tendency toward cognitive biases and conspiracy thinking. One of the most common psychological factors is confirmation bias, which is the tendency for individuals to seek out information that supports their pre-existing beliefs while ignoring evidence that contradicts them. For flat earthers, this bias leads them to focus on the perceived flaws in scientific evidence and to discount the overwhelming body of evidence supporting the spherical Earth model. Another psychological aspect is cognitive dissonance, which occurs when individuals experience discomfort from holding contradictory beliefs. For some people who have become deeply invested in the flat Earth theory, acknowledging the overwhelming evidence for a spherical Earth can be too difficult to accept. To reduce this discomfort, they may double down on their belief and dismiss all contradictory evidence, even in the face of scientific facts. Additionally, belief in such a fringe theory may be rooted in a desire to feel special or unique. In a world where most people accept the spherical Earth model, those who believe in the flat Earth theory may feel they are part of an exclusive group that possesses secret knowledge or insight into a hidden truth. Sociocultural factors. The role of social media and echo chambers. The rise of social media has played a significant role in the resurgence of the flat Earth movement. Online platforms, such as YouTube, Facebook, and Reddit, have provided spaces where like-minded individuals can gather, share ideas, and reinforce one another's beliefs. These platforms create echo chambers where individuals are surrounded by others who share the same views, which further strengthens their convictions and makes them less likely to entertain opposing ideas. The Flat Earth theory, like many conspiracy theories, often taps into a broader distrust of authority and mainstream institutions, including scientific communities, governments, and space agencies. This mistrust is often fueled by perceived power imbalances, misinformation, and the increasing sense of alienation among some groups in society. By embracing the Flat Earth theory, adherents feel that they are rejecting the mainstream narrative and that they are uncovering a hidden truth that the world is supposedly keeping from them. The appeal of contrarianism. For some individuals, belief in the Flat Earth theory is driven not by evidence, but by the appeal of being a contrarian. The act of challenging widely accepted ideas, especially those supported by established scientific consensus, can be enticing to those who feel disillusioned with mainstream institutions. Embracing the Flat Earth theory offers a sense of rebellion and defiance against the system, which can be emotionally and psychologically satisfying for some individuals. The Flat Earth theory in the context of modern science. Despite the resurgence of the Flat Earth theory in recent years, it remains a fringe belief that is not supported by scientific evidence. The overwhelming body of evidence from a variety of fields, including astronomy, physics, and geography, firmly supports the understanding that the Earth is a roughly spherical planet. From the observations of ancient Greek philosophers to modern satellite imagery and space exploration, there is no credible scientific evidence that suggests the Earth is anything other than spherical. Belief in the Flat Earth theory can be explained by psychological and sociocultural factors, including cognitive biases, conspiracy thinking, and the appeal of contrarianism. While the movement continues to persist, it represents a small, isolated group in the broader context of scientific progress. As we continue to explore the universe and make new discoveries, the evidence supporting a spherical Earth will only continue to grow, and the Flat Earth theory will likely remain an outlier in the realm of human knowledge. Ultimately, the ongoing spread of the Flat Earth theory serves as a reminder of the importance of critical thinking, scientific literacy, and the need to question claims and beliefs that lack evidence. The journey toward a better understanding of the world is not always straightforward, but it is one that is grounded in observation, experimentation, and an open mind. If you have any experiences related to this topic, be sure to share them with us. Until the next episode, be mindful of the energies around you.